how do you get then a man who's been trained by the patriarch to disconnect, and you're like, hey, if this thing's going to continue forward, you're going to need to connect deeper with me. How does that work when he's never done that before?
Honest to God, literally, you will live 10 years longer. If I had a pill and you took it every day and I said you could live 10 years longer, you would take the damn pill.
Yeah.
If you're related and you're in a good relationship and your partner and your kids are close to you and proud of you, you will literally live 10 years longer. Okay, so somebody described my work with men as women have had a revolution and now men have to deal with it. Women are asking for emotional intimacy from men. What do we learn as boys? Be independent, be strong, be logical, don't be too emotional, don't cry, don't be vulnerable. I deal with very tough guys, and I deal with marriages on the brink of divorce. That's my B. I deal with marriages that nobody's been able to help. And here's what I say to these guys. What you learned as a boy, whether you wanted to or not, it landed on you, with or without your consent. What you learned as a boy about what makes a good man, being strong, logical, independent, by today's standards will guarantee that you're a lousy husband.
Wow.
Think about that.
Yep.
What got imposed upon you as a boy, because boys are not born like that.
Mm-hmm.
The
I have
research,
a boy. I remember that.
boys love their mommies. Little
Yeah,
boys
they
love their
do.
mommies.
Yeah, they do.
It's a great thing. The research tells us, if anything, little boys are more emotional than little girls, more sensitive. And moms know that about their little sons.
Yep.
Until the code of masculinity lands on them. Now, women, you spoke about women being less willing to be the accommodating peacemakers that women are groomed to be under patriarchy when they hit menopause. Like Gabe at the office, I'm done. I want to be my own person now. Yeah. The wound to women, as Carol Gilligan wrote back in the 80s, and a whole generation of women after her, is the loss of voice. They stop telling the truth. They over accommodate and resent it. That's the traditional role. That lands on girls at 10, 11, 12, which is when many psychiatric symptoms show up. Bulimia, anorexia, depression, anxiety. Why then? Because they fall prey to what Carol famously called the tyranny of the nice and kind. Carol said her research broke open the day a woman looked at her. She asked her opinion, and the woman said to her, "Now, Carol, do you want to hear what I think, or do you want to hear what I really think?"
Oh, wow.
And
By
it's
the way,
just,
I have a whole chapter on Carol Gilligan's work in my new book,
you
because
should.
but what's interesting about what you're saying is I only saw it from the female lens, which is and I added in my understanding of hormones and its effect on the brain, that when estrogen comes in, it starts to activate the corpus callosum that is connecting the right and left hemispheres. And all of a sudden, a woman is bringing both hemispheres to every decision, which means she's bringing the emotional along with the logical. And you combine that with Carol Gilligan's work, which is the culture's taught her that she's good if she pleases everybody. So I never heard the boy side of it. I only thought of the girl side of it. So that's really fascinating.
Well, let me tell you the boy side, and then let me tell you how they go together. Because Carol and I have worked a lot together.
Amazing.
For over decades. Okay, here's the boy side. Under patriarchy, the wound to girls traditionally, now feminism has shifted that, and we'll talk about that. But traditionally, the wound to girls is over accommodation and resentment that shows up 10, 11, 12, as they're initiated into womanhood. This is what they're initiated into. Be kind, be accommodating, don't rock the boat. And resent the hell out of it. Get depressed, get symptoms, get cancer and die, but don't rock the boat. Okay. Boys. So the wound to girls is disempowerment, the loss of voice. And the healing move is re-empowerment, telling the truth, standing up for yourself. The wound to boys is disconnection.
Mm.
The way we quote unquote turn boys into men under patriarchy, we teach them to disconnect from their vulnerabilities, from their feelings, literally from their emotions, from
Mm-hmm.
others. And what I wrote back in the 90s on my book I wrote a whole book on man called I Don't Want to Talk About It.
Mm.
The cost of a disconnected boy is a disconnected man.
Yeah.
And the healing for a woman is re-empowerment. The healing for a man is reconnection. And this is what I
Mm.
do. Reconnect them to your feelings, reconnect them to their heart, reconnect them to the people that they love. Um, there was just an article in the New York Times, it ran today, about fathers in films, and I'm quoted in it.
Mm.
And it's all about these men struggling to find connection, often with their children,
Yeah.
when they've been pulled out of connection. Patriarchy pulls men out of
Yeah, it's
connection.
so true.
So let me just say, so when we're asking men to open up, share their feelings, be vulnerable, which all of which I support, we're literally asking them to reconfigure what it means to be a man to begin with. We are
Oof.
asking for nothing less than for these men to be pioneers moving
Mm-hmm.
beyond patriarchy. And good for us. One of the things I say is that moving men, women, non-binary folks into true intimacy is synonymous with moving beyond patriarchy. We have to reconfigure our traditional gender roles in order to be intimate with each other, because those roles don't
Yeah.
allow intimacy.
Yeah. One thing that's interesting about that is in my research, I discovered that estrogen stimulates oxytocin. So when estrogen goes away, oxytocin becomes what I call muted for a woman. Like her oxytocin system doesn't work the same. And I will tell you, as a 56-year-old woman, that I have found myself searching for deeper connection with everybody because that's where I get an oxytocin buzz. So, but if I listen to your words, I'm thinking about my own marriage, and I'm like, how do you get then a man who's been trained by the patriarch to disconnect, and you're like, hey, if this thing's going to continue forward, you're going to need to connect deeper with me. How does
Yeah.
that work when he's never done that before?
Well, first, why don't you start off with some acknowledgement and compassion? You
Yes.
know what? I want to acknowledge that what I'm asking you to do is something not only did you never learn to do,
Hmm.
but you were actively discouraged from doing.
Yeah. Good
This
point.
goes against all the rules, my dear
Yeah.
darling husband, and I
Yeah.
know it does. And what an amazing, courageous act on your part to open up your heart and have this old dog learn some new tricks. Thank you for doing this for me. I mean,
Yeah.
who sounds like that?
Yeah.
Listen,
I was going to
here's not.
say, yeah. Not very many people
Here's
I know.
no. Here's number one. Men are criticism phobic.
Hmm.
Men, I have to teach almost every man I work with healthy self-esteem, which comes
Hmm.
from the inside out. It doesn't get earned. You have worth because you're here and you're breathing. This is medical ethics. This is democracy. One
Hmm.
man, one vote. You have worth because you're here. Men don't believe that. Men believe that my worth is predicated on my performance.
Right.
So you get somebody you love coming at you and going, oh, buddy, I don't like what you're doing. You better do it this way, not that way. They go into shame,
Yeah.
not guilt, not remorse. Healthy self-esteem, which I have to teach men, women too, but means I hold myself in warm regard, even while I feel proportionally bad about bad behavior, both
Hmm.
at the same time.
Hmm.
And
Wow.
if I'm entitled, if I'm irresponsible, if I'm defensive, I don't feel bad about bad behavior. You deserve it, or it's
Hmm.
not that bad, or the sort of thing that you hear from husbands all over when
Mm-hmm.
women confront them.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, if I do let in the bad behavior and I don't have some healthy self-esteem on board, I go all the way into I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
I'm a worthless person. I just did a whole talk on how healthy self-esteem in men is a prerequisite for accountability and relate. If my self-esteem is based on my performance, you tell me, hey, Terry, don't scratch me here, scratch me here. What's the matter? You didn't like it over there?
Mm.
Boom. I'm a
Yeah.
worthless piece of shit.
Yep.
And I don't want to feel that. So how do I protect myself? Well, I argue with you about your criticism. That's how.
Oh,
And
yeah. I've
and
been the recipient of that conversation.
of course, I
Yeah.
mean, which is part of traditional masculinity. Being accountable is
Mm-hmm.
moving beyond patriarchy. Being
Wow.
accountable is moving beyond patriarchy. Look at the male leaders who are
Right.
surging all over the globe.
Yep.
You see them as souls of accountability is weak.
Yep.
Vulnerability is weak. I mean, there's been across the globe a rise in some of the most vile aspects of traditional masculinity because
Yep.
men are feeling threatened by the rise of female power.
Yeah.
Look,
Mm-hmm.
women, in Jane Austen's day, you were either married or you're in your uncle's shack somewhere
Yep.
in the back 40. You needed marriage, you needed men. Nowadays, you don't.
Yep.
So, and women are proving that they don't by divorcing men in record numbers.
Yep.
Why do I want to stay with you? Because of the quality of our love. That's why, not your paycheck. Those days are
Right.
gone.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, the quality of our love better be good. Women are raising the bar. And culturally, the response has been a backlash. Shut
Mm.
up, be traditional, get rid of all this woke nonsense, and just go
Yep.
back to the 50s and we'll be fine. Well, sorry, that genie is not going back.
Yep.
That toothpaste is out of the tube. So rather than standing women down from these new demands for intimacy, my work, and I don't mean to whatever, but I do think it's a pretty unique contribution. I'm
It
proud of
is.
my role as a public
Yeah.
figure in this. I want men to stand up and
Yeah.
meet these new demands. It's good for you. Relationship and learning intimate skills is good for us. You will live, this is what I say to the guys in my office. Honest to God, literally, you will live 10 years longer. If I had a pill and you took it every day and I said you could live 10 years longer, you would take the damn pill.
Yep.
If you're related and you're in a good relationship and your partner and your kids are close to you and proud of you, you will literally live 10 years longer. Your
Yep.
partner will be happier with you. You'll have a better sex life. You'll have a better body. Your kids will be closer to you. You will be a better father than the one you had. Come
Mm-hmm.
on, man, let me teach you how to do it. And when you pitch it this way, not critically, this is what you're doing wrong,
Mm.
but
Mm.
positively, logically, this is what I can give you. Men aren't stupid, they shape up. But
Mm.
women have to know how to ask.